Is it? They took this song that she found like 6 months ago. She knows all the words. It's so and now they've taken two cuts of it, and they're these little. They're fruit. They're fruit. And so, like, one is an astronaut, goes up in space, and some ways to die, takes his helmet off, and his head goes off. One's about putting a private part in the water.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the players, coaches, and umpires for today's game. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir les joueurs, entraîneurs et arbitres pour le match d'aujourd'hui. Representing the visiting team of USA, the starters in their batting orders. Représentant l'équipe visiteur, les États-Unis, les joueurs partant dans leur ordre de frappeur. Number 11, numéro 11, le left fielder, voltigeur de gauche, Bryce Duchamp. Le numéro 7, number 7, center fielder, voltigeur de centre, Blaine Milheim. Le numéro 35, number 35, catcher, le receveur, Tyler Bowie. Le numéro 16, number 16, shortstop, l'arrêt-court, Tyler Stoffel. Le numéro 12, number 12, third baseman, le troisième but, Jimbo Pernetti. Le numéro 26, number 26, the first baseman, first au premier but, Junior Centeno. Le numéro 34, number 34, designated player, joueur désigné, Justin Perez. Le numéro 4, number 4, second baseman, deuxième but, Cody Valeros. Le numéro 14, number 14, the right fielder, voltigeur de droite, Tristan Sensenig. Le numéro 13, number 13, the pitcher, le lanceur, Jane Chasen. The substitute players for the United States, les joueurs substituts. Le numéro 2, number 2, Taylor Nielsen. Le numéro 24, number 24, Stephen Nessler. Le numéro 5, number 5, Colin Hopkins. Le numéro 8, number 8, Brian Barnes. Le numéro 33, number 33, Farron Apodi. Le numéro 9, number 9, Phil Zimmerman. Le numéro 32, number 32, Peyton Hall. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Tim Lyons, and the rest of the coaching staff. Representing the home team of Canada, the starters in their batting orders. Représentant l'équipe domicile du Canada, les joueurs partant dans l'ordre de frappeur. Number 20, numéro 20, the right fielder, voltigeur droit, Tyler Pauly. Le numéro 5, number 5, at shortstop, l'arrêt-court, Samuel Bédard Desmarais. Le numéro 79, number 79, catcher, le receveur, Taylor Kubada. Le numéro 24, number 24, third baseman, le troisième but, Curtis Paikawi. Le numéro 8, number 8, first baseman, le premier but, Johnny Baker. Le numéro 72, number 72, pitcher, le lanceur, Tyler Randerson. Le numéro 30, number 30, the second baseman, le deuxième but, Tyson Zer. Le numéro 15, number 15, the left fielder, le voltigeur de gauche, François-Charles René. Le numéro 11, number 11, designated player, joueur désigné, Nick Penner. Le numéro 25, number 25, the center fielder, le voltigeur de centre, Matt Pilon. The substitute for Team Canada, number 10, le numéro 10, Josh Elliott. Number 9, le numéro 9, Justin Ganny. Le numéro 77, number 77, Marc-André Villeneuve. Le numéro 12, number 12, Eric Haley. Le numéro 16, number 16, Jack McKay. Le numéro 55, number 55, Matt Wardrop. Le numéro 7, number 7, Justin Boyer. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Jim Jones, and the rest of the coaching staff. The umpires for today's game, les arbitres du match d'aujourd'hui. At home plate, the home plate umpire from New Zealand, L'arbitre au marbre de la Nouvelle-Zélande, Gavin Shepard. First base umpire from Germany. L'arbitre au premier but de l'Allemagne, Thomas Lonertz. Second base umpire from the Netherlands. L'arbitre au deuxième but des Pays-Bas, Bob Gieskens. Third base umpire from the Czech Republic. L'arbitre au troisième but de la République tchèque, Vladimir Lis. In honor of good sportsmanship, the players will now shake hands and exchange gifts. Dans l'honneur de l'esprit sportif, les joueurs se donneront maintenant la main et échangeront des cadeaux. Thank you, merci, over, play ball!
Live from the Pepsi Center in Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada, you're watching the 10th ISF Junior Men's World Softball Championship on Sports Canada TV. From the broadcast crew of Ballpark Radio, I'm Kyle Smith, joined by Jim Flanagan as we get set for the 49th parallel battle. Canada, USA, coming up next here from the Midnight Sun as we get set. We're moments away from first pitch as you see Team Canada come on to the ball diamond set for inning number one. The defense, it looks as such. Francois, Charles Rene over in left field. Matt Pilon out in center. Tyler Paulai over in right field. Curtis Piekawai over at third base. Samuel Bedard, Desmarais at shortstop. Tyson Zaire playing at second. Johnny Baker over at first base. Tyler Shibata behind the plate. And Tyler Randerson on the mound. For the USA team, it's Bryce Ducharme who will be leading off. Blaine Milheim will bat second. Tyler Booley will bat third. Tyler Stoffel in the four-hole. Jimbo Pernetti will bat fifth. The six hitters, Junior Centeno, Justin Perez bats seventh. Cody Valeros will bat eighth. And Tristan Sensenig will bat ninth. Not batting the pitcher, though, today is Zane Chasen. Bringing Jim Flanagan, of course. Jim, part of the American contingent here in the broadcast booth. I, of course, from right here in Canada. If it gets physical, no hurt feelings, just bloody noses.
We have extra broadcasters on field number 2 next door. They may be needed at some point tonight. Kyle, I've had a chance to walk the grounds before the start of this one, and it is a packed house. A full set of bleachers in front of us here. We are just up above home plate on the third base line. A full packed bleacher over on the right side, and looking down around the outfield fence, starting to fill in a sea of faces all around. This is the feature of today, and I think perhaps one of the most popular contests during the entire tournament. Great grudge matchup. We'll see how it goes.
As we get set, the boys break on the mound and we'll get ready for action here. Every night we seem to get further and further across the outfield fence. We're almost all the way around from foul pole to foul pole as we're minutes away from first pitch here on Sports Canada TV. Glad you're with us. Hope you enjoy it. It's Canada, US. Let's play ball here on Sunday night. Randerson works. Pop bang for strike one. Brings a round of applause from the crowd. Gavin Shepard from New Zealand, the home plate umpire. Thomas Lohnert over at first base from Hamburg, Germany. Bob Gieskens from Netherlands. Valdemir Lis works at third from the Czech Republic. And working the 22nd clock is Casey Waite from the United States. Strike two on the swing and a miss, and Randerson on point here on the opener. Nothing in two. Quickly to leadoff man Bryce Ducharme, who, Jim, is the spark plug that makes the engine go here for the U.S.
Oh, he is. Started out in opening game with a 4-for-4 performance. He's been on base throughout their three contests thus far. 2-1 is the USA, the loss to New Zealand. Canada on the other side, 1-1, losing 7-0 to Argentina. So both of these teams looking to move on with a winning record. Certainly don't want to take a loss here with remaining opponents to be played.
Randerson, little check swing right back to the mound. Up on to first, emotions in check. One down in the inning on the 1-3 putout.
Kyle, a couple of similar teams, Canada finishing 4th in Paraná, Argentina just a couple of years ago. The USA 5th. Canada finished with a 6-3 record. The USA 5-3. So they are a couple of teams knocking on the door, trying to get up to the medal stand. Canada, of course, was there in '08. They were the silver medalists, falling to Australia on this very field.
Canada been there and leading the charge on the medal count overall, in tight with Japan. And a shot. Tyson's there. One knee on to first. 2 down in the inning. A lot more emotion tonight from the crowd here in attendance.
I walked by the bleachers on the USA side and asked if the fans over there were rooting for the USA. Got a few chuckles and laughs. It is a sea of red and white, heavily Canadian crowd, as it should be. They're the host. I feel a bit like the lone Argentine rooting for Argentina the other night over in Ontario, Canada.
Well, up here in the press box, you are the lone American, as both Choi and Adam from British Columbia. And a check swing foul by Tyler Booley, the 3-hitter, and the catcher behind the plate tonight for Team USA.
Kyle Booley has been perhaps the hottest hitter, but looking at one there for a called third.
You could tell he didn't like it after a little bend at the knees, but as we've said before, Jim, on many broadcasts, time and time again over the years, sometimes you're just too close to look at.
I didn't think that was one of those pitches, Kyle, but sometimes.
So we'll take a break, come back with the bottom half of the inning up next on Sports Canada TV.
The 2014 ISF Junior Men's World Championship is funded in part by the government of the Yukon.
Back here on Sports Canada TV as we get into the bottom half of the first inning. Defensively for Team USA, it's Bryce Descharmes, Blaine Milheim, and Tristan Sensenig. Left to right across in the outfield. Jimbo Pernetti over at third base. Tyler Stoffel up the middle on the left side. Cody Valeros over at second base. Junior Centeno at first. Tyler Booley behind the plate. And Zane Chason will be on the mound tonight for Team USA.
Kyle, just a couple of defensive changes from what the USA has used in the first 3 games they played. Milheim moving to center field. He played in the infield last night. Came on when Stoffel came out of the game with an injury for a period of time. The other change, Tristan Sensenig over in right field, has been used primarily as a runner. Came in late last night as a defensive replacement. Got himself a base hit on his at-bat. And Coach Lyon says he is playing a hunch.
Got to go with your gut sometimes when it comes to coaching. And as you said, Jim, Coach Lyon playing that hunch by putting him out in the outfield. Leading off, it's Tyler Pauli, who's batting .500 coming into tonight. That spark plug for Canada, just like Descharmes. And he pops the gap on the 3.5 hole. So Pauli continues his trend and starts it off with a leadoff single.
Now at bat for Canada,
So Samuel Bedard Desmarais will come to the plate. He's the 2-hitter. Taylor Shibata will bat 3rd. Curtis Piekawai will bat 4th. Johnny Baker in the 5-hole playing first base. Tyler Anderson, the 6-hitter. Tyson Zare, Francois Charles Rene, and Nick Penner round out the order. Takes for ball 1 does Desmarais.
Kyle Chasen threw the first game for USA. That the 13-4 win over Denmark. A little shaky in the first inning or two, then settled in. Just seemed to be a case of first game nerves. Pitched well at times. Denmark notched him for 4, but pitched well down the stretch.
Paulai gauging the interest with him at first. Creeping in at second is Valeros. And down the line off the shoulder of the first baseman Centeno. No play, backhands it. Up to 3rd goes Paulai. Keep your eye on him. And a hard shot down the line that Centeno, I'm sure, will feel in the morning with the mark, but at the same time, good job to keep it in front and not let it hit the green.
Didn't have a play and tried to backhand shovel it with the glove. I'm not sure he needed to do that, taking a chance. The runner moving over to 3rd regardless, so no impact on that. But like you say, did knock it down. A hard hit ball.
How do you mark that? Base hit or air?
Base hit.
That's how I have it. So runners on the corner now. Taylor Shibata will come to the plate.
Infield for the USA in. Valeros especially so at second.
3 for 5 is Taylor in the first 2 games as that one gets lifted up and out of play. Already loosening down in the bullpen, playing a little soft toss, or maybe just entertaining the bat boy. Although I see 2 hats out there, so maybe Phil Zimmerman might be one of those getting loose.
The other 2 pitchers, Phil Zimmerman, he threw 2 yesterday in their...
Throw down to second. Here comes Paulai. Tag at second on Desmarais, so you sacrifice the out for the run coming in. So it's a 2-6 on 2-6 on Desmarais. And score Tyler Paulai. So Taylor Shibata now with the bases empty will reset on an 0-2 count. As Chason works. Hard shot. Nice play. Hands by Stoffel. On to first in time. Good job by Tyler Stoffel to clamp that one down as it was stung real hard.
Good hands, good soft hands up the middle for the USA, and both Stoffel and Valeros over at second. Milheim in center field actually also plays both of those positions, but Valeros and Stoffel very steady up the middle. They anchor the defense.
Called strike 1 on Curtis Piekawai, 3rd baseman tonight for Canada. And foul that one off. Just got a piece. Nice inside drop. Thrown at the back foot of Piekawai. Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Zane Chasen from Alma, Georgia. One of the few players from that part of the country. Not too much fastball going on at the upper levels, so Coach Lyon had to search high and far to find Chasen, but he is one of 3 pitchers. The other 2 we mentioned, Zimmerman throwing 2 yesterday, and then the left-hander Colin Hopkins that has not pitched in the tournament yet.
1-2 pitch. Into the dirt. 2-2. I know Scott and Tim both travel the countryside trying to find the best talent, find the unknowns in the junior circuit. Softball definitely not the game down in the States, so sometimes you got to dig a little deep, like you said on Chasen. Works off speed. Good change of scenery, good change of levels. Just like to bring it up a wee little bit. Count runs now, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
A few areas in the States, hotbeds of fastball. Salt Lake City, the hometown of Coach Lyon, of course, being one. Several of the players on this squad hailing from Salt Lake City.
And he'll miss for ball 4. So 2-out walk issued to Piekawai, and definitely not trying to avoid your free passes. We saw a pile of them in the Denmark-New Zealand game, 10 all told. And a lot of runs came in by way of the free pass. So for U.S., big chance here to clamp down and buck up against the hard-hitting Johnny Baker 5-spot in the lineup for Canada.
The out made by Stoffel on the 6-3 put out. Great play. You've got to take that and roll it into another out. And Chasen giving a free pass, not what the coaches want to see. Baker among the better hitters for Canada.
Good pickup by Booley behind the plate as that one drops in front. Chasen into the dirt for ball one. Standing room only here in Whitehorse. Is that one lifted up and foul out of play on the right side. And Baker going to lift that up on the right side. Got a tail, got a hook. Nice long run by Sensenig to come out with that one as it was tailing away. But Canada strikes for one after one complete. We'll come back with more here on Sports Canada TV.
At the bottom of the first inning, one run, two hits, no errors, one runner left on base. With a score of Canada 1, USA 0. La fin de la première manche. Il y a un point, deux coups sûrs, aucune erreur et un coureur laissé sur les buts. Le pointage est Canada 1, États-Unis 0.
Back here in Whitehorse, Yukon, as we'll move into the top half of the second inning.
Kyle, the inning finishing on that great running catch by young Tristan Sensenig. That was one of Coach Lyons' hunches that he played. Sensenig normally a runner, but a good defender, and goes and gets that one, a big out for them. Keeps that from turning into a bigger inning than it might have been.
Defense wins you championships, as we've seen many times before. Canada crowd trying to work themselves into a frenzy. And that one gets fouled off as Stoffel tries to get on base. Made a nice defensive play back in the first inning to clamp one down as it was going for the 5-hole.
Stoffel in last night's game actually came out of the game at one point, got hit in the pitch right on the spine. Talked to him last night, said he had broken a couple of vertebrae just a month or so ago and got plunked in the back. Re-entered the game, Kyle. Game's tied 2-2. Hits a 2-run homer the other way. Gave the team a lift, and they went on to win that one.
Good twist there by Stoffel, fouling that one off as Randerson again fouls it off.
I still find myself writing Ty Stofflet every time I fill out the lineup card or the score sheet.
Very similar name.
At least he's not a pitcher. Tough
Absolutely.
comparison.
Big shoes if he was, but bigger stage as that one into the dirt by Randerson. One ball, two strikes as Randerson gets the start tonight. Rise in, bends out of the way, does Stoffel. And he works it up even now at 2-2. Update from the other diamond in case you're keeping track. Argentina leads 3-0 over top of Singapore, maybe about the 5th inning over on diamond number 2. Up and in again as give him a little chin music in tight.
As we said, hit by a pitch hard in last night's game, so maybe a message in that one, Kyle.
3-2 pitch. Stoffel awaits, swung on, fouled it off. Good twist and turn by Stoffel.
Would have been a big loss if they had lost him for the game. He's one of the experienced leaders on this club. One of the players, younger players look up to, and gave them a big lift when he was able to re-enter the game last night.
Just off the plate for ball 4. So Stoffel, the first base runner for Team USA, as he'll get that leadoff walk. So Jimbo Pernetti now comes to the plate.
Pernetti struggled early in the tournament. Not a lot of hits, but they've been productive ones. He's one of the RBI leaders for this club. They're still looking for him to find his groove, though. Played his best game in the last one. See if it carries over here.
Randerson called for a strike as the hand goes flying up from home plate umpire Gavin Shepard. Day 3 of competition here in Whitehorse. Big game on right now, USA Canada, as that one misses outside for ball 1. Tim Lyon runs through the signs down at third base. Scott Standiford over at first, overseeing the action here tonight. Randerson misses again for ball 2. This junior program in great hands with the minds of Lyon and Standifer and Mulligan.
They've been with them since the O's.
6-4-3. Call it 2 and double play by Desmarais, Zare, and Baker around the horn. Taylor made. Sometimes, Jim, you take for granted turning those plays with teams like Canada, US, and everyone here, but come together quickly and got to gel and find your rhythms. Zare out of the lineup last night till about the 3rd. Didn't start. Started Friday night. Back in the starting lineup tonight for Jim Jones and company.
Centeno sitting out last night's game. He's one of the power hitters, but struggling, still looking for his first hit in the tournament. He and Pernetti are the big boys in the middle of that order, along with Tyler Booley. Booley has been swinging the hot bat. Pernetti and Centeno not so much, so USA will need those two to get untracked if they're going to play Canada heads up here.
Little unorthodox stance with that front foot back to start. Nope, go the other way here, Gavin. Didn't swing, so the count stays with the plate at 2-1. But it's an interesting stance, that front foot back on the line, then he pulls it forward and front. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 coming right after him on the inside drop.
Not the open stance you see from the likes of a Patty Shannon. I think it may be a balance issue. He just doesn't seem to be comfortable at the plate yet.
And a swing and a miss on a mid-rise. And a strikeout to end the inning. In the end, they go up and down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left. Big change there is after the walk, the double play, the inning killer if you're the USA.
Defense, defense, defense.
We'll be back up next, the bottom half of the inning. Canada-US on Sports Canada TV.
Le pointage est toujours Canada 1, États-Unis, aucun pointage. Yeah, and I want to be able to, so I don't want to go too far. It's just a tiny adjustment. Please join us in thanking our official suppliers: Air North, Driving Force, Mizuno, Super Safe Fence Rental, Patrick Laberge Productions, the Whitehorse Daily Star, and CKRW. I know your mama's behind you.
Back inside the Pepsi Center here in Whitehorse, Yukon, Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan from Ballpark Radio, alongside our partners in crime with Sports Canada TV, Troy Brown, Adam Donnelly, Jillian Landergren, Randy Strickland, and Forrest Mann, the crew here on Diamond number 1 and bringing you all the action front and center. And it'll be Tyler Randerson who will lead things off. There you look over the shoulder of head coach Jim Jones in his Canada Red uniform. Chason offers off-speed opener for strike 1. Nice pitch and change by Chason. High bouncer. Nice scoop by Stoffel onto first in time. Great play by Stoffel, showing his hands in the first 2 innings. Tyson Zaire now will come to the plate. Tyson from Tavistock, home to the party in the beer tent last night with the 300 people and so with the lone Argentine last night. But Argentine prevailed in that 7-0 victory. Down inside for ball 1.
Fun to get the emails from around the country, people at different tournaments this weekend. Several big ones going on in the States. Some TVs, some laptops, some cell phones, all following the action here in Whitehorse, Yukon.
Swing and a miss. Another change by Chason. Going used as he gets in front. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Works. Called strike 3. Down on strikes goes Tyson Zaire, looking 2 down in the inning. First strikeout for Zane.
Jason with better command tonight than he had the other day in the opening game, but I guess that's what first games are for. You get your feet under you, you get settled, find your pitches, find your rhythm. Jason looks like he has done that.
Got rid of the first inning jitters with the big crowd on hand, and that one misses down and away. Sometimes you take for granted how young these kids actually are on the diamond.
But when they stand 6'3", 6'4", and thereabouts, it's easy to forget just how young they are.
Francois Charles Rene at the plate as he takes called strike. Off speed. Misses for ball 2. Almost starting to fall in love with that pitch. Not necessarily the greatest of things in a ball game. 2-1 the count. Coming after, hard rise. Swing, nice hands by Pernetti on to first. So up and down in the order they go. 5-3 across the diamond. Nothing to speak of here in the first inning, rather the second inning. 1-0 in favor of the home team, Team Canada, on Sports Canada TV.
Stars, the official newspaper of the 2014 Junior Men's World Softball Championship. Pick up a copy of the Star today or visit whitehorsestar.com for all your championship coverage. Leading off for the United States, number 34,
Back to the top half of the third. We'd encourage you to join the conversation. Hashtag 2014 Junior Softball, JR Softball. Send us an email at live@ballparkradio.com. We'll be pleased to see where you are enjoying this game. Lots of people already getting in on the action and sharing some great pictures of comfy chairs and popcorn and the TV going. Randerson right back with strike one, evens it up at 1-1.
Kyle, one of Coach Lyons' other hunches in this game at the plate, Justin Perez, the son of Frankie Perez, well-known fastballer, has not played yet until tonight.
Swing and a miss. If he's anything like his dad, he'll be clutch at times. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Frank Perez hit a big home run or a game-winning home run. But right now, just a single would do from young Justin. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Down he goes. So back-to-back strikeouts and the third on the night.
Valeros in the game as much for his defense as anything, struggling a little bit at the plate. In one of the 3 games USA played, they actually moved Milheim to the infield, took him out of the lineup to get a bit more offense, but looks from the defense like that is a priority for Coach Lyon tonight. Senseneg, the youngster in right field, and Valeros, the sure-handed second baseman.
Opener 2-0. Knocked down in front. Called strike 1. Excuse me, 3-1. Roller up the line, inside the line, on to first in time. You talk about a line shot. That one right on the chalk.
Pretty good defense by both clubs thus far in the contest. The infield of Canada and USA, solid.
And fouls that one off.
Tristan, one of the youngsters on this club, but very good speed, trying to take advantage of it there with a pretty good bunt. Just not able to get it down in fair territory.
Inside for a ball. Swing and a miss. And foul that one off.
It's up, hold on. Please bring it back to field number 1.
Randerson swung on. That one goes sky high. Over comes Desmarais. He's under it, sets up a camp, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. And up and down they go. So we're getting into a bit of a pitcher's duel here, Jim, as we head to the bottom half of the third up next here on Sports Canada TV.
thanking our volunteer sponsors, Pepsi and Air North, Yukon's Airline, and a huge thank you to all our volunteers who helped make this event happen. Veuillez nous joindre et remercier nos commanditaires bénévoles, Pepsi et Air North, la chaîne aérienne Yukon. Un énorme merci à tous nos bénévoles qui aident.
Back here in Whitehorse, land of the midnight sun, as we hit about 8:03 and the sun just started to come out for the day.
Coming out of dinner last night about 11:30, still looking like high noon.
It's one of those things that, Jim, as many times as you come out of somewhere and it's late at night, you never get used to being the outsider. And that pitch misses for a ball.
I'm actually having a little easier time of it than I did in our trip in 08. Sleeping habits get a little disrupted when it's still daylight at midnight. Heavy curtains, binder clips, duct tape, anything you can find to put on the windows. No problem getting the games in, though. No light standards in this ballpark. None are needed.
That I will never get used to. The fact that we don't have light standards here in
We talked about it the other day. You drive into town, the first thing you do is look for the light standards. Where's the ballpark?
Yeah. And a free pass issue. So Nick Penner, the 9-hitter, draws a walk and turns it over to Tyler Pauley in the top of the order.
Double taboo, walking the leadoff hitter, walking the 9-hitter. Flips the batting order back to Pauley.
There's a cool picture, Jim Flanagan on Twitter. We'll retweet it from my play-by-play at 21, at play-by-play 21, but sitting by the campfire watching the ball game on the laptop.
Oh, you got to love that. Makes me think of that family in Tasmania last time in 08, following along on their camping trip. Some kind of a satellite contraption, but all you need is the internet. If you can connect, you can watch it.
That from Sask Phantoms back at the Gordie Howe Campground. So taking it in a great local place. Bunt down in the box. So that'll be a foul ball. Calls it right away, does Gavin Shepard. Speaking of Saskatoon, that's where the ISF senior men's will be next summer, right around this same time, prior to the Pan American Games in Toronto.
Some of those folks on hand here in Whitehorse, taking in the ball games here.
Acting as the scorekeepers and announcers this week.
Say a quick hello to our friend Gary Burns, who is not in the ballpark at the moment, had to step away, but was looking for a computer back at the hotel.
Chasen, swing and a miss. Snap throw! Didn't get him. Hand down on the bag, just underneath, not by much.
Booley likes to make that throw, and he's very effective with it. It's a quick snap throw. Already erased one base runner in the tournament. Not afraid to make the throw. 2 outs, close games, no matter. Very confident in his arm and his abilities behind the plate.
And covered by the batter in the left-handed box, off and running. Throw down, didn't get him. Beat the throw. Maybe tag high. And into second goes Penner. Didn't have the greatest of jumps.
Tough chance for Booley. Had to come off of his haunches to his left to scoop the ball. Throw on the money, just not in time.
So going to third and misplayed it, Chasen, as it just snuck out of his hands. So time called, and Tim Lyon would like to come out and talk to his troops.
We remind everyone that smoking area. Thank you. For your safety, please be aware that during the course of play, softballs can be thrown and hit into the stands. They can travel at a high speed.
So with the timeout, the Canadian crowd will come to their vocal cords.
Crashed.
Number 79, the catcher, Taylor Shibata.
The lone wolf in the crowd below us cheering for the U.S.
What am I, chopped liver?
No, I mean in the fans. You're in the broadcast booth. On the edge for a strike. Time called is Bedard Desmarais. Fixes the ground in front of the base. And lifted up on the right side. Under it, Sensenig tests the arm. Here comes halfway home. And now up to second goes Desmarais. So Shibata flies out for out number 2, I think.
Next up at bat for Canada, number 24, the third baseman, was in blue, Curtis Paikawi.
Time called. Appeal the leave. That is 2 out. And time called now again. Called a strike on the batter as he delayed the game. Time now called. Can't leave the batter's box if you're the hitter, and you have to come in within 10 seconds. So that is a strike to the batter as assigned by the umpire. Jim Jones comes down for confirmation, agrees and nods. So don't have to throw a pitch and 1 strike. Curtis Piekawai at the plate. The ISF rule is 1 foot in the box as you take signs. If you're coming to the box, you have to assume the position within 10 seconds, or the umpire can associate a strike to you. And that one gets lifted up on the left side. Overstrides Descharmes. That one's going to fall in fair, just inside the line. And 2 runs come in to score. Tough long run for Descharmes over in left field. Fall in for the double. And now Johnny Baker will come to the plate. Baker with 2 down. Flew out to right field, Sensenig. Tristan back in the on the first inning. That was the long run Tristan had over to the right field line. Off speed in the dirt. Nice pickup by Booley behind the plate. Swing and a miss. Little flailing swing by Baker. Swing and a miss. Drop ball in the dirt. Baker goes down chasing. Strikeout to end the inning. 3rd strikeout on the night for Zane Chasen. And we head to the top half of the 4th. 2 runs get pushed across on just 1 hit. No errors. 1 runner left. We head to a break, come back with much more in the Canada-US game here at the ISF Junior Men's on Sports Canada TV.
With a score of Canada 2, US troisième manche. Les 2 points sur un coup sûr, une erreur et un coureur laissé sur les buts. Le pointage est maintenant Canada 3, États-Unis 0. The 2014 ISF Junior Men's World Championship is funded in part by the Government of the Yukon and Sports Canada. Le championnat du monde junior masculin 2014 de la ISF est financé en partie par le gouvernement du Yukon et Sport Canada. Leading off for United States, maintenant bâton pour les États-Unis, le numéro 11, number 11, the left fielder, le voltigeur de gauche, Bryce Ducharme.
So Bryce Ducharme will lead things off here for Canada. Jim Flanagan and I talking off air that when we saw that ball get looped up on the left side and Ducharme in chase, we thought for sure that's a catch ball by Ducharme, just with the shade on the left hitter and the long run falling at his feet. Tough play for Ducharme as he sends that skyward. Paulai in about 10 steps and makes a grab for out number 1.
Last couple of hitters, Senseneg and Ducharme, rely on their speed to a great deal. A couple of fly balls, they've got to put it in play, got to put it on the ground somewhere to take advantage of that speed. Blaine Milheim is the hitter for USA.
Milheim grounded out back in the second inning. USA got to respond with one here, Jim, I think, to quell the storm a little bit, to maybe take a little momentum back on their side.
Still looking for their first hit in this one last night after the loss to New Zealand when they came out against the Czech Republic. Very aggressive. I think we went through 10 or 12 hitters where every single one was first pitch swinging, running, trying to take every base. They looked just a little less aggressive, at least to this point. Sometimes a big crowd can do that to you.
That one gets lifted up on the right side and out of play.
And sometimes that first hit, you just have to break the ice and get the bats rolling. Milheim is one that can do it. Started the tournament earlier towards the bottom of the batting order. He's been moved up to that 2 slot, try and give this USA squad a little more offense against Canada. Very versatile player, plays infield and outfield, but swings a good stick, has a couple hits and an RBI already in the tournament.
2-2 pitch misses to the outside. Three and 2. Randerson comes set. Drop ball, fouls it off as unable to squeeze it up. Shibata behind the plate. Well, Jim Flanagan, it's Sunday night and we've reached capacity around the outside. We're foul pole to foul pole here in round robin play as that pitch will miss for ball 4. So Milheim gets a 1-out walk.
It just occurred to me that we still have another week, but about this time next Sunday night, you and I will be sitting here and doing much the same, but plenty of ball to be played. Milheim, a good at-bat. Almost struck out. Stuck around for one more swing. Booley is the hottest hitter for USA right now. Has a couple of clutch doubles, both 2-out doubles. He leads the team in hits, leads the team in RBIs, swinging a very confident bat right now.
Looking,
he's the guy they want up there.
Little check swing. Randerson, bare hand, up to first on 1-3. So Tyler Stoffel will come to the plate. Tyler, the only one to reach base till this inning, had faced the minimum up until now with Milheim in the walk.
The original or normal batting order was Booley, Pernetti, and Centeno as the big 3, 4, 5. Off to the races on that one.
And he come off the bag. Tim Lyon. I had my head down.
I thought he got back to the bag. Coach Lyon's going to argue that. I suppose the video will show one way or the other, but the call made, he's called out.
We'll try and get you a replay on that one, as Coach Lyon still has the ear of the third base umpire, Valdemir Liss, working over at third. I had my head down looking to see who was on deck.
There's
the play. And we'll slow it down for you. Hand does appear to get there in slow motion, though. You speed it up, and that's the beauty of the game. It is a man's opinion on any given play.
Yeah,
and
here's the
fastball,
replay again. Obviously, the umpire only gets one look at it, but some amazing camera work down there on the side by the crew from Sports Canada TV. I believe that's Randy down there on that third base camera. You saw it a couple of times there. A close play here one more time. Perhaps not.
No, that's back to live.
I get steak and I want dessert, huh? Well, it looked to be a delayed steal. Part of that aggressive base running that you see from the USA. Would have put a runner at third, but ends the inning. That'll leave 4, 5, 6 coming up next time for the USA. Credit Purtis Kikaway for making the second effort after he slid in safely, watching alertly, seeing him come off the bag and applying the tag.
Granted, hindsight's 20/20. With 2 down in the inning, are you a little surprised? Runner off towards third, never want to make the third out at third.
Yeah, that's the Cardinal rule, and with Stoffel at the plate, you know, maybe the thinking was ground ball, close play if he can get an infield hit, not a power hitter necessarily.
But at the same time, I like the aggressiveness and trying to push the envelope. And I mean, we saw it in the New Zealand game, where you force the hand of the defense sometimes leads to good things and errors and opportunities.
Yeah, I tend to think perhaps not sending him, but Coach Lyon looking for something to light a fire under these kids. Already one time through the lineup, still looking for their first hit. Sometimes you have to do something beyond the envelope, make something happen. Very close to doing that.
Jim, we can tell you Argentina defeats Singapore by a score of 7-0 over on diamond number 2. So they move to 4-0 here this week.
Not only 4-0, but in that runs allowed column, 0. All 4 shutouts.
Stingy defense, stingy pitching. And big bats is Randerson. He'll lay that one down. Not in time. And a little disbelief, Valeros covering.
Well, he shoveled it underhanded, but it was sort of a soft toss. Took a little while to get to the glove. Bang, bang. Canada safe at first.
So infield single for Randerson. And I think we're going to see a pinch runner, Jim. Number 9, Justin Gainey, into the ball game to pinch run for Randerson. So Tyson Zaire will come to the plate. And will face Zane Chasen.
Substitution for Canada. Number 9, Justin Garney, in for number 72, Tyler Randerson.
First pitch swinging Zaire. He was caught looking back in the second inning. Canada up by a score of 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fouls that one off. Tyson trying to find his way in this lineup, inserted back in after the partial night off. 0-2 count. Chasen. Just down and away for a ball. Like how Chasen slowed the pace here, Jim, after, the tough luck break at the end of the third, at the end of the top of the fourth, and then that tough call at first, either way it went. Got to shake your cobwebs and refocus to be prepared.
Well, he kept his composure at the end of that third inning after Canada scored the other 2 runs, running the score to 3-0. Came back with a big strikeout to get out of the inning. So
Tyson lifts that up on the left side. Back goes Descharmes, and he'll make the grab for the out. So 1 down in the inning. Gainey not able to advance on the hit. So Francois Charles Rene will come to the plate.
This, as we said, Chasen's second outing. He went the distance in the opener. Zimmerman throwing the other 2, both of those yesterday as they split with New Zealand and the Czech Republic.
Down and away for a ball.
Canada 1-1 in the tournament thus far. The USA is 2-1. Canada a 7-0 winner over the Czech Republic, a 7-0 loser to Argentina.
Hot shot, snag, grab, flip, 2. Inning-ending double play as Charles Rene squares it off. Nice hands by Valeros.
Some of that steady defense we talked about out of Valeros, not producing a lot with the bat, but a very valuable set of hands over there at second base, helping Chasen out of that inning.
So we'll take a break, come back with the the 5th inning, as you watch the replay coming up next on Sports Canada TV.
Le pointage est toujours Canada 3, États-Unis 0. Leading off for the United States. Maintenant, bâton pour les États-Unis. Le numéro 16, number 16, the shortstop, l'Aveco, Tyler Stoffel.
Back in the Pepsi Center, Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan from Ballpark Radio, joining forces with Sports Canada TV.
Stoffel left standing at the plate on the tag out over at third base on the attempted steal that we talked about and showed the replay. So Stoffel back in there again.
That one misses from Randerson for ball 1.
Slightly built left-hander, but he's got some pop in his bat. A home run, as we mentioned in the game yesterday.
That one skips in for ball 2. 2-1 the count.
Both of the games with the USA somewhat seesaw battles with Denmark and the Czech Republic, trading runs until a third surge late in the game. So the USA will stay with their game. It is aggressive base running and staying aggressive at the plate. Right now, still looking for a hit.
And that one skips away.
Was chatting with Randerson's folks the other morning in Timmy Hortons here in Whitehorse. They are here to watch their son pitch. Doing a great job right now, he is.
Up on the bounce. Desmarais on to first in time. So Stoffel taken again 6-4, this time on the hit. Flanagan, I see a young lad wearing a hat that could maybe be your logo one day, JF, on the hat.
I've been looking for that hat for the last 2 days. I went through my suitcase. I emptied everything. Well, at least we know it got to the ballpark.
1 ball and then no strikes here to the 5-hitter, Jimbo Pernetti.
I will tell you, I have my USA softball hat right behind me. I'm just waiting for the moment to put it on.
Is that the rally cap that might be needed tonight?
Well, I didn't count on it being a rally cap, but as of this moment in the 5th inning, early getting late, maybe it's time.
1-1. 2-1. When you look up and down the lineup, Jim, as you talk about and how we say early becomes late here on Ballpark Radio and Sports Canada TV, is there someone you would pencil on the lineup that maybe could come off the bench as a pinch hitter down the road?
Colin Hopkins, one of the other pitchers, the left-hander, he's the 3 pitcher in the rotation, but he swings a pretty good bat. He came off the bench the other day. The 9 starters are the ones they count on, and it's the middle of the order right now that they're just not getting a lot of production from. Pernetti getting a couple of RBIs, but just a couple of hits to show for it. Descharmes and Booley have been the big 2, Booley in particular. Descharmes had that big 4-for-4 game out of the box. The problem stringing the hits together consecutively. They generally make up for that with their speed and aggressive base running.
2-2 pitch. Misses for ball 3.
Not unusual for them to score runs with only a hit in an inning. They'll look for a free pass, but in this tournament, very aggressive, a lot of first pitch swinging.
So Randerson, 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. As Randerson fired up on that rise ball on the strikeout, 2 down in the inning.
I think Perez was one of those that I would have put in that category, but he was a starter tonight, so I think that was the idea. Coach Lyons looking for a little more offense. He is a young player, but swings a pretty good bat. Just hard to throw him in with a big crowd like this, your first at-bat.
In the on-deck circle is Justin Perez, and right now it's Junior Centeno at the plate as Randerson finding his groove here tonight and working quickly as he gets his rhythm at 0-1 early. That one misses for ball 1.
Actually, one of the most likely pinch hitters might be Ryan Barnes, who's been catching every other game. He is probably among the top 3 hitters, has several hits in a couple of the games.
Swing and a miss.
Last night's game with the Czech Republic, he caught and they put Booley at first, got both in the game. Those 2 are among the top 3 along with Descharmes, so maybe Ryan Barnes. Youngster out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
1-2 count. Misses to even it up at 2-2. Randerson sets. Called, strike 3. Centeno caught looking, turning around on the backward side, and that's 5 on the day. We'll come back with much, much more from the Pepsi Softball Center here in Whitehorse, Yukon. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan from Ballpark Radio and on Sports Canada TV.
Aucun coureur laissé sur les buts. Le pointage est toujours Canada 3, États-Unis 0.
I didn't see that going 7-0. I thought it'd be bigger. I know.
This event would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors, including our premier sponsor, Pepsi. Pepsi, the Yukon's choice. Cet événement ne serait pas possible sans le soutien généreux de nos commanditaires. Incluant notre commanditaire principal, Pepsi. Pepsi, le choix du Yukon.
Still haven't given up the run yet.
Leading off for Canada, maintenant au bâton pour le Canada, numéro 11, number 11, the designated player, le joueur désigné, Nick Penner.
Hit batsman puts the leadoff man for Canada, the 9-hitter, Nick Penner. So that's 2 free passes to Penner tonight.
Well, that's exactly how the trouble got started back in the 3rd.
That pitch misses for ball 1. And a shot, popped the 4 3.5 hole. Around into 3rd comes Penner. Up to 2nd goes Paulai. All hands safe. 2 runners on, nobody down. And the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming to the plate.
Well, a good strong throw coming into 3rd, but it allowed the base runner to move up to 2nd base now. 2nd and 3rd instead of what would have been 1st and 3rd. That's going to bring a visit from Coach Lyon, and it will be Phil Zimmerman coming in.
So the night comes to a conclusion for young Zane Chasen as he will end the night and exit stage right. Good pitching performance from Zane tonight. Really not a lot of big hits, just hitting some gaps and popping some holes was Team Canada on Chasen.
Got the strikeout in the 3rd. Looked like he was going to find his legs again, but trouble at the bottom of the order with the 2 free passes. That's how trouble started in the 3rd, and it has been renewed here in the 5th inning. Zimmerman, as we said, threw 2 games yesterday. Through the opener against New Zealand, and then through the 2nd, the nightcap against the Czech Republic.
And his first 2 pitches have gone to the backstop during warm-ups. There's one to the catcher.
I don't know if he's been throwing too much on the side. I was looking down to the bullpen area. Couldn't see him up from there, but he may have been further back. I told you, Kyle, before we started, it wouldn't surprise me if they even started Zimmerman today, but your point well taken. He threw 2 yesterday, and it's early in the tournament to do that with a fellow you look to potentially as your ace.
Yeah.
Tough for a young arm to do. Had they only played single games on consecutive days, I wouldn't have been surprised to see him start 3 in a row.
Definitely early to start stringing starts together. I think yesterday you kind of made the point, playing 2 teams that on paper should beat, and using him to guarantee those wins and get in the win column after the tough start on Friday. And right now, Phil Zimmerman, a little wobbly on the mound as that first pitch comes high and inside. Samuel Bedard Desmarais at the plate. He pops one. Nice diving play by Valeros, but then unfortunately throws it off, and that hit a knee in the dugout. So up to 2nd will go Desmarais, and 2 runs come in to score.
Kyle, USA does not seem to be able to catch any breaks even when good things happen. Valeros making an amazing diving defensive play, but threw it away and a costly error for the USA.
That's 2 great defensive plays we've seen today. The first one was in the Denmark game on Tobias Helmeland as he tracked one down, sliding to the right center gap, and now that diving play by Valeros. Just heartbreak when he throws it away. And now Shibata comes to the plate. It's 5-0 and now in favor of Team Canada.
One of those situations, I think you're so close to the bag, you can't really hand it to him. You're not quite that close, but you're too close to make a real strong throw, and you just try and flip it.
And a line shot caught by Sensenig. So Shibata 0 for 3 tonight, but has made good contact all 3 times.
Sensenig in the lineup, of course, in part for his great defense. Showing some of that, going over to his right to make that catch. Hard liner.
So Curtis Piekawai at the plate. Base on balls and a double here tonight on his card. Is Canada starting to flirt with the run rule? Knocked down by Zimmerman. Bluff to third, on to first for out number 2. And Piekaway moves the runner.
Kyle Zimmerman has actually added a pitch during the course of the tournament. During the entire first game, we didn't see it last night when he started to get into trouble late or had trouble throwing strikes. Almost a knuckle rise. You'll see it in the grip on the screen from time to time. He'll throw it at 2 different speeds. He'll throw it like a rise with good velocity. He'll use the same grip and the same release and throw it as a change. Very effective in the late going against the Czech Republic yesterday.
Pinch hitter, Jim, as Zach McKay comes into the game for Johnny Baker after he went 0 for 2.
Hitting for number 8, Johnny Baker.
So McKay with 2 down and a runner at third, trying to extend this to Randerson. Pitch misses for ball 1.
Zimmerman from New Holland, Pennsylvania. One of his idols, Ty Stofflet.
You see him starting to shake his hand out there, trying to loosen something as that one comes in for a strike. You as a pitcher, does that worry you a little bit?
It does. I haven't seen him do that before. I wonder if he's just trying to get loose a little late on the day. I didn't see him throwing over there on the sideline.
But if he's shaking his hand and how he's pitching up, down, and not really hitting his spots, maybe showing a sign of something?
Don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but.
So McKay, a chance here to drive in a run. Swing and a miss as that one skips away, and actually a foul ball at the plate.
He was playing around with the grip a lot last night, but it was with the knuckle rise, knuckle change that we were talking about.
2-2 pitch. Bouncer, foul.
I know sometimes when you throw a couple ball games in one day and then you come back and you try and throw the very next day, sometimes there's a little swelling in the hand or the knuckles, and maybe he's feeling a little bit of that. Maybe fatigue. It's a good eye on your part, Kyle.
Misses high and out.
He most definitely is not in full command. You can see him out in the circle, kind of talking to himself, trying to play in with his release point.
Bouncer, nice play by Pernetti on to first, just in time. So 5-3 the long way, 3 down. 2 more runs come across though for Team Canada. Runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. After 5, it's 5-0 in favor of Canada over top of the U.S. as we head to a break and come back with more on Sports Canada TV.
The bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, she'll know.
With 2 runs,
She's right beside
1
Brenda
hit,
Burrow.
1 error, and 1 runner left on base.
Yeah, it's for
The
Joy.
score is still
Another
is
Brenda said
now
congrats.
Canada 5, USA still scoreless. À la fin de la 5e manche, des 2 points sur un coup sûr, une erreur et un coureur laissé sur les buts. Le pointage est maintenant Canada 5, les États-Unis 0. Please join us in thanking our official supplier, Air North, Driving Force, Mizuno, Super Safe Fence Rentals, Patrick Robert's Production, the Whitehorse Daily Star, and CKRW. Leading off for the United States, maintenant bâton des États-Unis, le numéro 34, number 34, the designated player, le joueur désigné, Dustin Perez.
Back to the action here on Sports Canada TV. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan here with you as first pitch to Justin Perez comes in for a ball. As we went to break, you could see Tim Lyon talking with young Cody Valeros to settle him down and just to reassure him that things like that happen on the play. You make a great diving play and maybe thinking you didn't have as much time and rushing that throw away, and just to settle him down and get him refocused for his at-bat.
Important with him coming up this inning, too. You don't want to let that defensive miscue carry on over to the at-bat. He's thinking about what he might have done, should have done. He's got to focus right now on his next at-bat. They've got to get some offense going. They've not been able to figure out Randerson at all tonight.
That one misses from Randerson as now he struggles with command.
Only base runners for the USA in this one. Leadoff walk to Ty Stoffel back in the second, and then the one-out walk to Milheim in the fourth. That's been it.
Foul ball, nice stroke by Perez as Valeros ducks out of the way. That one goes right by his ear. Generally, that's why we travel with the hitters for occasions as such.
That's
you
a
see the smile on his face as he's standing in the on-deck circle.
Well, that's a swing that his father, Frankie Perez, would have been proud of. A couple of these players on the USA team with fathers who had played in the upper levels of fast pitch.
There's a swing, a high fly ball. There's a Perez swing we know.
There's a hunch that is gone. Coach Lyons inserting Perez for the first at-bats tonight, and we just saw why.
That was a high fly ball that finds the nether regions of the ballpark and puts the U.S. on the board, now down 5-1 here in the sixth inning.
In a swing that Frank Perez would be prouder still than the prior one. Good hack by the youngster.
So now Valeros will come to the plate. Randerson looks to settle back in. First pitch outside for a ball. That the first hit for Team USA tonight. And a big swing on the rise.
Kyle, you asked about pinch hitters or potential pinch hitters for the USA. As I look down the card, I'm not sure that we will see one this late in the game. A lot of the players that are coming up, ones they count on to deliver.
Knocked down 1-3. One out. Tristan Sensenig will come to the plate at a pop out to the shortstop back in the third inning.
The guys that are struggling for the U.S. that might be lifted for a pinch hitter are the guys that are going to hit the long ball, so I think they probably stay in the game, at least if they can get a runner or two on. They need 4 right now, starting to run out of outs.
Swing and squeezed by Shibata. And check swing, bring the hands in to get a piece, does Sensenig. Oh, 2 count. And into the dirt for 1-2. This, our third broadcast of the day, will conclude our broadcast day with this ball game, but we'll have the post-game wrap here from Whitehorse. So keep your eyes out for that on Sports Canada TV. That coming up, we'll get that done after the conclusion of this game. Lance Wynn, Joe Todd, Jim Flanagan, and myself. There's that one, a little lazy fly, overstrides Charles Rene down to 2 knees to make that catch.
6 games a day, 6 broadcasts a day, 3 on each field. The Ballpark Radio crew playing musical chairs with our broadcaster pairings. We'll continue to do that down towards the medal round.
Called for strike one.
Descharme 0 for 2 on the night. He's the guy that's got to light the engine. He's the one they look to start things rolling.
Ground out and a fly out, and he lifts that foul out of play. Speaking of our post-game show, there's our producer, Kat Britton, who will get things cracking just as soon as this game's done. Up on the infield, who's going to take that? Looks as though it'll be the third baseman, Curtis Piekawai, who settles under it for the grab. So after the big home run by Justin Perez, it's up and down. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors and no runners left. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-7-8 for Team Canada on Sports Canada TV.
Nous avons eu 1 point sur un coup sûr, aucune erreur, et aucun coureur laissé sur les buts. Le pointage est maintenant Canada 5, États-Unis 1. Substitution for the United States. Number 2, Taylor Nielsen, replacing number 11, Bryce Descharme. Leading off for Canada. Maintenant au bâton pour le Canada, numéro 72, number 72.
Just in time for first pitch of the inning. Substitution for Team USA. It's Taylor Nielsen coming into the game for Bryce Descharme. As the sun pops out here at 8:51. Swing and a miss by Randerson. He was pinch ran for back in the 4th inning, re-entered immediately. Swing and a miss.
It's kind of an odd time for the sun to pop out, but it did the same thing yesterday. A little bit of rain produced a rainbow right about this same time. Very little rain today. It's been a gorgeous day here in Whitehorse. It's a heavy clouded sky, a bit more blue this morning when we arrived, but it's been a gorgeous day. Looks to be great weather throughout the week for this tournament as we head towards next Sunday for the gold medal game.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Drop ball, and on strikes goes Randerson.
If you're looking ahead at games for these two teams, the USA still has in this order Mexico, Japan, Singapore, Argentina, and Australia. A couple of tough ones to finish up with. Canada with New Zealand tomorrow night, then Australia. Wednesday they play 2 in a day, Mexico and Denmark, and then finish up with Japan and Singapore on Friday.
So Tyson Zaire at the plate, 0 for 2, strikeout, flyout.
4 of the teams will advance to the medal round. We start with 10. The others will play in a consolation round, but only 4 advancing to the medals. 2 of those advancing in that 4 will have a double life in the page system that they use here. Right now, Argentina 4-0, New Zealand 3-0. Japan 3-0.
The 3-1 pitch coming up here from Zimmerman. And a high bouncer, high hopper will go foul as Booley gets a finger on it. So count runs up at 3-2. Tyson put back into the starting lineup tonight, looking for his first hit. Down and away and draws a one-out walk. So Francois Charles Rene will step to the plate, and still Zimmerman loosening on the mound, doing some stretches in between. Right on the plate for strike one. There's that new look you see from home, right behind home plate. And a swing and a miss. Outside for ball, pat of the chest on the missed pitch. As this game's worn on, the fans continue to file into the Pepsi Center. And a foul ball on the right-hand side.
For those fans that may have joined us on Sports Canada TV late, Canada scoring 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 more in the fifth, trying to add to that total right now. The USA has to keep within that 7-run margin if they're going to get all of their at-bats. So very important outs for Zimmerman to get here.
Works. Lifted. Right field. Back to the wall, to the track. Say bye-bye baseball. A 2-run shot for Charles Rene and makes this a 7-1 ball game. Zimmerman hasn't been on point, and I think Jim just caught too much of the plate there as Rene took that 1 yard.
Well, Canada's got 7 runs, 3 of them getting aboard on free passes.
Yeah.
It was the walk, the leadoff walk in the third to the 9-hitter that started that rally. A hit by pitch to the 9-hitter that started the rally in the 5th. And now a walk coming home on the home run.
That pitch misses for ball 1. It was the tail in the New Zealand game with Denmark with the 10 free passes.
18 runs on 8 hits in that game.
You do this math. Under the glove of a diving Valeros. Cody just not able to get there. Bit of a seeing eye hit to find the outfield.
I can't see all the way behind the USA dugout. I don't see anybody throwing. It would be Colin Hopkins, if anyone, but at this point, I think they're going to try and let Zimmerman find his way.
This will be Zimmerman's game. No one, I can see a little bit more down on the line, and no one out there loosening, so it looks as though it'll be Zimmerman the rest of the way.
Hopkins was with a jacket on. I think I can see him across the way inside the dugout. At this point in the ball game, this late, it looks to be Zimmerman's to finish.
So pinch hitter now, Jim, 77.
Substitution for Canada, substitution for Canada. Number 77, Marc-André Villeneuve, in for number 20, Tyler Pauly.
Marc-André Villeneuve will come into the ball game. All Tyler Pauly did tonight was go 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, and a strikeout. So when you're pinch hitting for someone who's had a good night at the plate, kind of tells you how your night's gone. Inside misses for ball one, and not to put any more pressure on Villeneuve, but in terms of Team Canada, he is wearing a ominous number in 77. That, of course, of the one and only Ryan Wolf. Inside misses for a ball, and again the pat of the chest from Zimmerman. Phil works. Fouled off. Zimmerman on in relief from the starter, Zane Chasen. And a swing and a miss. Throw down. Didn't get him again. It's been close twice now, as Penner actually looked as though he thought about going to second, realized he will be dead to rights, and hustle back to first. 2-2 pitch. Called strike three, and on strikes, down goes Villeneuve. He turns, not appreciating that call. 2 down in the inning.
7-1, you've got to let that go.
Well, got to let that go, and you're off the bench, and you're going to turn around and argue with the umpire. That's a tough one as well. Misses for ball one. And fouled it off. Bedard Desmarais, a single, an error, reached on an error, and a walk scored a run. The way his night has gone, that error was the great diving play by Valeros. And again, it's Valeros, Johnny on the spot. 4-3 the short way. Canada pushes 2 more runs across, a little more breathing room and some insurance. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We'll come back with the top half of the 7th inning up next here on Sports Canada TV.
That's the end of the 6th inning. At the end of the 6th inning, there's 2 points on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. The score is now Canada 7, USA 1. À la fin de la 6e manche, il y a eu 2 points sur 2 coups sûrs, aucune erreur et un coureur laissé sur les buts. Le pointage est maintenant Canada 7, les États-Unis 1.
So to the 7th we go for Team USA. You don't have to look much further than the line score to get the story on this game. Canada with 9 hits and 7 runs. The USA just 1 hit, the home run by Justin Perez. To go with that, 3 errors and a couple 3 free passes. So that's been the story on this one. The USA offense unable to get untracked against Randerson, and then not able to help themselves out defensively. Now down to their final 3 outs. Kyle?
So Ty Randerson back on the mound for Team Canada. And that one comes across for strike 1. It's Blaine Milheim who starts things off, reached on a walk and a ground out today. Rise ball misses out of the zone. And back to work, short in the stride, does Randerson there, and he'll miss for a ball.
You know, Kyle, one might say the USA not as aggressive at the plate as they were yesterday in the win against Czech Republic, but you have to tip your cap to Randerson and acknowledge that they're facing a much better pitcher than they faced yesterday, and he has just kept the ball in on them all day long, hasn't given them the chance to be as aggressive as they'd like to at the plate.
Called for a strike. They really haven't been attacking early in the count, more sitting back on their heels early. 3-2, not the aggressiveness that you had spoken of this week. Desmarais on to first, one down.
I mean, yesterday it was so apparent. We were actually having the discussion in the booth. Maybe they were told you must swing at the first pitch, because literally 10, 12 players right through the order were doing that, and they made it work for them. But Randerson throwing a whale of a game here, just a one hitter. Here's the USA's best hitter in the tournament thus far.
And Booley pops one out on the 4.5 hole. As you spoke of it, he delivers after going 0 for 2 tonight. So good swing and a pinch runner for Booley.
Two of the other games, Booley drove in runs with 2 outs, but they just haven't had anybody on in front of him to give him that opportunity to deliver. Try and pick up a number on our
substitution for the United States, number 24, Stephen Nessler. In for number 35, Tyler Bowie.
So Stephen Nessler
At bat for the United States,
will pinch run, son of Dan Nessler.
Well known to many fastball folks around the continent.
Taking for strike one was Stoffel. He reached on a walk, then was part of that double play, and grounded out to the shortstop in the 5th inning, and a roller foul. One down in the inning. Single by Booley breaks himself out of an 0 for 2 night and gets us to Stoffel, the 4-hitter. Down the line, fair ball. Around comes Nessler. He's got the stop sign at third, and into second goes Tyler Stoffel with a nice hard shot down the line for the double.
So the first big inning for Team USA coming in the 7th, down by 6 runs. Wondering if we may
So Jimbo Pernetti now, back-to-back hits for USA.
Coach Standifer motioning to the dugout, perhaps somebody to pick up a bat.
Zaire bobbles, throws it away. And one run in, up to third goes Stoffel. In to score comes Nessler. And things getting a little anxious here for Team Canada.
Need a couple more before we would call this one interesting, but certainly a ray of hope for Team USA.
Pinch hitter for Centeno will be number 32.
Peyton Hall.
Peyton Hall.
So Coach Lyon rolling the dice with some hitters here. Got a great run produced from his hunch with Justin Perez, the kid getting his first at-bats and delivering with a home run. USA now with runners at the corners, 1 out.
Runs through the signs, does Shibata, in case Pernetti were to take off. Trade out for run, I guess, here at this point.
You would, I wouldn't.
Throw down. Didn't get him. There's something you hold your breath on, hoping it's on point.
Took me a couple seconds to start breathing after that one. I don't even want to think about that.
Randerson, little squibber. Off, on, down, safe. So fielder's choice to Hall in to score Stoffel. And up to second, Pernetti now make it 7-3 in favor of Canada.
And look who's coming up.
Justin Perez had the big home run back in the 6th inning. Would sure change it in a hurry. Looking down, no one warming for Team Canada, so it's Randerson's game here, as it should be. Dials it up a notch for strike one.
Perez, of course, hitting a towering home run to left field in his last trip to the plate. You know it's going through his mind and along with his teammates right now.
Randerson off speed, knock it down. Good job by Shibata to keep that in front.
On the other hand, USA seems to hit better with men on base, so maybe it's rally on. Maybe time for the rally cap.
Joe hide it. On the plate. Misses for a ball. To the chagrin of Jim Flanagan waving his USA softball hat around. 3-1 the count. Cody Valero stands in the on-deck circle.
Actually, looks to be Ryan Barnes may have come out to hit for Valeros.
You would be right.
Picking up the side of his number, it is Barnes. We talked about him earlier. Ryan, one of the 3 leading hitters in the tournament thus far, catches every other game. So Coach Lyons pulling out the stops here in the 7th.
3-2 count after the strike to Perez. Randerson, big spot. Just misses on the inside and breathed some life.
I would say now it's interesting, Kyle.
Yep, absolutely. Pinch hitter Ryan Barnes will be announced into the ball game.
A pretty tough pitch to take. You got to give credit to Perez for a good eye, some discipline there. Keeps the rally alive.
Jim Jones out to the mound to talk with his troops just to settle the nerves here a little bit. Ratchet the intensity up a notch. The tying run at the plate for Team USA.
Ryan Barnes, the pride of Salt Lake City, Utah, father and uncle, longtime fastballers at the upper levels in that area. It's in the genes, much like Justin Perez from his father, Frank.
Randerson coming right with it. Barnes right on it, fouls it off. Strike one.
First pitch swinging. The tension and the volume here in the stands going up.
Rise ball misses for a ball.
USA asking themselves why they waited to the 7th, but here we are.
Lifts that one foul. Tristan Sensenig in the on-deck circle.
It's Pernetti at third, Hall at second, and Perez over at first.
Randerson, 1-2 pitch. Lifts it up again. Shibata, no play on that one as it reaches the crowd. Everybody starting to get a little anxious, a little heart palpitation. Gets your blood flowing here in Whitehorse, Yukon. Maybe even a little heartburn. Held up, run it up, 2-2. Nowhere to put him. 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. Check the swing. It's going to stay at the plate.
Kyle and I joined by Lance Wynn and Joe Todd, our other broadcast crew. They're up here with us, I think, because there are no seats left in the house. Standing room only around the outfield fence, all the way down the lines.
Everyone encouraging Randerson. Just misses again, ball 4, same spot as Perez, and you can't shake it. Walk in a run. So Sensenig now will come to the plate as Standifer and Lyon will confer on their equation. Big spot.
Well, they've used Nielsen, they've used Nestler, they have Colin Hopkins, they've used Barnes, Farron Potty.
Haven't used a Potty or Hopkins.
I think that might have been the discussion. Hopkins, a pretty fair hitter, but they're going to stay with a youngster with speed.
May need him in the situation as that one unleashed to the backstop, and I think Tyler Anderson starting to feel the nerves in the spot. Either that or caught an edge. And we are going to see a pinch hitter as someone pulled from the on-deck circle.
Well, I think that's Descharme coming back out.
In.
Maybe the question whether to leave Nielsen in to hit. It looks like it'll be Descharme. He is out on deck. That must have been the discussion.
Randerson unleashes another one. Nothing doing. And Ty, you can see on his face with his emotions. He's got the jitters.
Peyton Hall at third with pretty good speed, but that's not the out you want to have in this kind of a game, getting thrown out at the plate on a ball that close.
We're going to have a pinch runner. Valeros for Barnes to re-enter?
Re-entry, I think that's probably, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Barnes runs pretty well for a catcher, but Valeros in the game for his defense. Barnes for his hitting on that at bat.
And Valeros is the run that matters. All of a sudden a 7-4 ball game, 2-0. Right at the knees for strike one. Met with appreciation from the Whitehorse faithful. Tyler sets. Shot on the line and foul. 2-2 pitch. Ratchet it up a little bit more.
I'm feeling it, Kyle. You know who those youngsters down there in the field are.
Big spot, 2-2. One down, bases loaded. Sensenig got the plate, a bouncer. Back to the mound, Randerson. Short arm throw, gets away. In comes one, in comes two. Safe at the plate and make it 7-6 in favor of Canada.
Tying run now 60 feet away with Cody Valeros. The USA has turned the tables on Canada. 1 run away from tying this one in a wild affair here in Whitehorse. Wow.
So Sensenig, the fielder's choice. I think if you're Ty Randerson, you'd like to see you go to first on that. And that will do it for Randerson. As he exits stage left, we'll wait to see who comes on in the spot. Number 12 for Canada, that's Eric Healy.
Kyle, you talked about you'd like to see the throw to first base on that play. Yes, but I think also the speed of Sensenig getting down the line. It looked like he looked up, Sensenig getting close to the bag, and maybe he thought the only play he had was to come to the plate.
So Eric Healy is going to make his ISF debut here in the top of the 7th inning with the tying run at third.
So the coaching staff for Team Canada not beyond thrusting their pitchers into some pressure situations. It was Randerson last night having to come on in a tough spot.
And turning his ankle on the first pitch, Healy.
You know, Randerson had that issue on that one pitch that you talked about this inning, Kyle.
Yep.
The one that sailed to the screen. And as I look out there, a little bit of a hole in front of the pitching plate seemed to be giving trouble to both pitchers. Credit Justin Perez, the youngster, for some heads-up base running. After the first run scored and the ball got away, he kept coming to the plate, sliding in right on the heels of Peyton Hall. Valeros going all the way over to third. So USA with runners at the corners.
And to the top of the order we go in Descharmes.
USA is the visiting team in this one. So Valeros at third. Senseneg with great speed at first. He would be the potential go-ahead run. But Canada still getting an at-bat in the bottom half.
Zimmerman staying loose over in the warm-up area.
With a shot of adrenaline,
And
no
Colin
doubt.
Hopkins standing there getting his timing down. So it's Descharmes to face Healy, fresh off the bench, tying run at third. And again into the dirt as Healy can't find his footing.
Valeros at third runs very well. Senseneg perhaps the fastest on the team. And Descharmes with great speed himself, the leadoff hitter.
The sun shines brightly here in Whitehorse. Swing and a miss. Good outside drop from Healy. Valeros at first. The tying run, Senseneg at first. Now up to second on the wild pitch.
Valeros coming down the line from third, watching the ball, watching the catcher, Shibata, all the way, and then back to the bag.
2 balls, 1 strike. Wonder how many people turned us off when it was 7-0, 7-1. Look at the score now, 7-6. Swing and a miss. Outside dip. Chasing is Descharmes. 0 for 3 today is Descharmes. Healy, 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Descharmes. 2 down in the inning. It took
9 batters.
the 8th batter before they get the second out. 2 down. Now you face Blaine Milheim. He was the first out in the inning.
Milheim 0 for 2 on the night, reached on a walk back in the 4th.
Called a strike on the inside edge. Randerson, I'm sure, would say, where was that when I was on the mound? Healy again, Joe Jim, losing his footing and working out a path in front. You see Tim Lyons observing, watching ever so closely. 0-1 pitch, a bouncer, bobbled again. Tying run comes in. The USA has come all the way back to tie this ball game, and the go-ahead run is at third.
Unbelievable. Valeros hit the bag to score the tying run and then looked like Michael Jordan on that famous poster, leaping into the air with his fist up in the air. What a turn of events. It was the right move to bring in Healy. Healy throwing very well, gets the strikeout, then gets the little tap out, but unable to pick the ball up, and we are tied.
And Tyler Booley now comes to the plate.
Booley leading the USA in hits. Booley leading the USA in RBIs with a golden opportunity here. 7s across the scoreboard, 7th inning, 7-7 tie.
Booley 0 for 2 today. In the feet by Shibata, good block. Booley was lifted for the pinch hitter Nestler back earlier this inning. He had the single and scored. So Tyler Booley back in the lineup looking to get his first hit of the day.
Walk him, Kyle?
I think you take your chances. Stoffel heads the double.
You give your defense a chance to go to every base, but I guess you put some pressure on the pitcher too, and with Healy into the game, you can make an argument either way. The other side being argued by one of my colleagues here in the booth.
Actually, I stand corrected, Jim. That was Booley who had the single earlier tonight. It was pinch runner Nessler for Tyler. So Booley is 1 for 3 with a single.
Booley with a couple of 2-out RBI hits already in the tournament. He has been the best hitter for USA.
Staying away from him. Hasn't really seen anything to get a hold of as the tides have turned here in Whitehorse.
Like watching 2 different games.
All in 1 inning. Ball 4.
Or half inning.
Yeah.
Unintentional, intentional walk perhaps, I think, but Booley heads on down to first base.
So Stoffel now will come to the plate. The go-ahead run at third, and then some at second and first. Second time now in the inning that the bases have been loaded. Healy sets. Drop ball misses for ball 1, and Canada's pitching is starting to shake here. Off the plate for a ball.
Stoffel with one of the few hits in the game against Randerson. At one point, the only hit they had was the Perez home run until Booley and Stoffel went back-to-back here in this 7th.
And a couple errors this inning also, as now missing 3-0 on the verge of walking the go-ahead run in.
Stoffel with good power had a home run last night in a 2-2 game. But I think at this point, if he's doing anything, he's going to put the pressure on Healy and take.
Healy right on the plate for strike 1.
Even now, we may see that again. There's already been a number of walks, runs walked in the inning.
3-1 pitch. Strike 2.
Does it get any better than this?
3-2 pitch. 2 down. 7th inning, the go-ahead run at third. Off and running the runners, so you'd have to think on green the runner on 2 scores. Little roller. Long run for Baker, not in time. And the USA has come all the way back to take an 8-7 lead.
Stoffel diving towards the bag at first. He could see the ball had been bobbled, put his arms outstretched. What a turn of events for Team USA.
Baker went a long way for it. Maybe should have just let Zaire take that and stay over at first as Jim Jones comes out to talk with the home plate umpire. Now is going to go have a word with the first base umpire, Thomas Lahner, maybe on the transition to the bag, or if he got all white bag. We'll have to see what we're discussing. But after being down 7-0, after being down 5-0, they reply with 1. We're down 7-1 when this inning started. Have scored 7 runs here in the 7th inning. Conversation over. Still with the bases loaded. Canada.
Well, Canada, of course, with an at-bat coming and a 1-run cushion in a wild one like this, maybe not enough to be comfortable. The 2 big guys that they've looked to for production.
Called for a strike.
Pernetti at the plate and Centeno on deck. 1 swing of the bat.
Pernetti 0 for 2 and reached on an error and scored this inning. Swung on. Fly ball. Pilon with it. End the inning. But my, oh my, the US of A, they score 7 runs to take an 8-7 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Who would have saw it? Not many people in the ballpark. Can't even say my broadcast partner to my right. We'll come back with the bottom half of the inning.
You didn't see my rally
coming up
cap,
next,
did you?
On Sports Canada TV. His game to lose, he hasn't been in trouble all game. Oh, there.
And that brings us to the top of the end of the top of the 7th inning. It was 7 runs on 3 hits, 4 errors, and 3 men were left on base. The score is now USA 8, Canada 7. À la moitié de la 7e manche. À la moitié de la 7e manche, pardon. Il y a eu 7 points sur 3 poussées. Le pointage est maintenant États-Unis 8, Canada 7.
I mean, when it got to be 7-5, that's when I read. Isn't that when they took him out?
No, that's when they brought in, what's his name? Or maybe 7-6. Back for the exciting conclusion to this one, or maybe we'll have to play a few mini extras. 8-7 in favor of Team USA. It's 3-4-5 in the order. Shibata, Piekawai, and Baker who come to the plate and foul that one off. Does Shibata. 0 for 3 tonight is Taylor. Made contact and hard contact all night, so he's right on it. Second time to see Zimmerman. Swung on! Over the head! Up and over, and a ground rule double. There's the start Canada's looking for, and that will bring the fans to their feet. Blaine Milheim came in on it and then back on it, and it bounces over the fence for a double. My, oh my, the ebbs and flows of just this 7th inning.
Maybe a lucky break that it did bounce over, because if not, he's to third easily, and then a fly ball or anything gets him home. That was a big change in that result. So
Piekawai reached on a walk, a double, and a ground out. My, oh my. An instant classic this one's become. Nice pickup by Booley behind the plate.
It was the double by Piekawai in the 3rd that brought home a couple.
Zimmerman swung on, up the middle, giving the wave around. Throw, cut off, smart move, tying run, in to score, nobody down, and a runner on first. Tim Lyon out to talk with the home plate umpire, Gavin Shepard, to see how many times he's been to the mound on a visit. I believe just the once has he been there. Johnny Baker comes to the plate, 0 for 2 tonight.
Coach Lyon wanting to make sure that he could make the visit. He wants to talk to his youngster, not to lift him. The right move to cut off the throw. You've got to keep that other runner off second. They didn't have him at home. And alertly cutting off the throw coming in. Good strong throw, but would have been well behind the runner.
Well, if nothing more, we're going to get some extra time here in Whitehorse because the sun's not going down. We got no worries. We'll be here all night long. Baker the other night greeted the Czech relief pitcher with a home run. Lots of power in the bat of Johnny Baker. See what the equation up here. Zimmerman fouls that one off. And not to belabor the point, Jim, but Zimmerman doesn't have the pop on the ball that we've seen in the past, let alone when he first came into the game. So there's something wrong with his hand. Still kind of working at it, and a little flat on that offering to Piekowai. Bunt, can't get it done. Fouls it off.
Well, you said it earlier, Kyle, talking about whether to start Zimmerman in this one. He's been the ace, or arguably the ace, but 2 games yesterday, and at some point fatigue sets in. Always tough that day after you throw, let alone 2.
Shot up the line, over top, around into third. Here comes Piekowai. A great job by Curtis to avoid the hard shot on the first base side. And the winning run moves over to third base. You walk this one to set up the force play. Nobody down in the inning.
I think you have to. I don't think they want to. Zimmerman's had a little trouble locating the strikes.
We are going to see a pinch hitter, Jim. Sorry to cut you off. So Eric Healy will be lifted. So we'll have a pinch hitter and then a new pitcher if we go to extra innings.
I think maybe you look for the strikeout and then hope you can double up to get out of the inning. That's about all you can do at this point.
So Josh Elliott comes into the ball game.
From the lowest of lows to the highest highs, and now the USA trying to hang on.
There's the bare hand of Phil Zimmerman. Maybe a little puffy, as you said off air to me, Jim, with that right around the knuckles. You said when you used to pitch, you'd get inflammation. And ball 4, and everybody's going to wonder what's going on. In international softball, you can turn around. No, you don't. International softball rules state on an intentional walk, the catcher can turn around to the umpire and say 4 balls, and you get the base. You do not have to throw a pitch. You get 4 balls, and down you go.
And that's exactly what's happening here.
So an intentional walk without having to throw a pitch. That's the best way to do it, because pitchers always struggle after intentional walks to come back to the strike zone.
Some great camera work will show you how the defense will set up for the USA, but in short, everybody in.
Tyson Zaire, 0 for 2 and a walk. High fly ball. Gonna find its way out of play. Everybody paid for a seat, but pretty much just on the edge right now, because it is that kind of ball game. It was 7-1 to start the 7th. It's 8-7 coming to this inning. Canada ties it up. The winning run at third base. Zaire pops one to left field. Gonna carry to the wall, fall in for a base hit. And Canada walks it off with a single from Tyson Zaire to win the ball game, and an instant classic, 9-8. For the US of A, a tough heartbreak defeat. But my oh my, these youngsters showed some gumption after being down 7-1 to start the 7th, turn around and tie it go ahead 8-7, just to have Canada come back at home and defeat them by a score of 9-8.
Tough loss for Team USA, but the kids have to keep their heads high. That's a game they will remember for a long time, an unbelievable comeback. It's still early in the tournament. You have to think every time they're down, no matter how many runs they're down, they will remember this game, and they'll tell themselves, we can do this, we can come back.
That's the tough part now, is refocusing these young kids and getting them back together, rallying the troops, and getting ready for this next push through the schedule, because a tough loss like this sometimes gets you deflated.
Well, a lot of that will be up to the coaches, and these 3 veteran coaches for USA, I'm sure, will be talking about that before they leave the ballpark, how they get the kids to bounce back. But an outstanding effort by both clubs, and boy, the fans just enjoying all of the emotion here on the field. Final with Canada winning this one. Tomorrow night, Canada will take on New Zealand. USA will take on Mexico. Kyle, will give it to you to send us out.
Well, we'll wrap up shop and we'll get set for the post-game show. Lots of things to talk about in our post-game wrap here from Whitehorse, Yukon. You can watch it again, because why wouldn't you want to? When you go to the hotel or when you go home, go to the host site, click on the archive, and watch it all over again. Relive the heartbreak, the agony, the wins. And we'll sign off for now from Whitehorse, from our broadcast partner Jim Flanagan, Lance Wynn, Joe Todd, and all of us from Ballpark Radio, joining forces with Sports Canada TV up here in the press box. Troy Brown, Adam Donnelly, Jillian Landegren, Randy Strickland, and Force Man on diamond number 1. So long from the Midnight Sun. Canada, big 9-8 win. How do you